Hello, welcome to White Tortoro, where the reader is bubbly and a little gargly, but the readings can get dark. So today I am doing a general check-in for the third week of October for all Zodiac signs. So it's just going to be a quick 3-card pull type of deal, and we'll see what we can get. I've also been thinking that I probably need to do another Nandi Speaks video explaining time like I promised. So that will be coming out soon as well. All right, starting with Aries. Three of Wands, opportunities coming in. That's good. Three of Pentacles. Okay, a lot of threes. Three of Pentacles is about planning, collaboration, working with other people. Nope. The Lovers. And I was aiming for 3, but we got 4, so we'll go with it. All right, 7 of Pentacles. Okay, cool. So, Aries, it looks like this week, the third week of October, we are looking at opportunities coming in, but, well, not but, and these opportunities, it looks like it's going to require collaboration. It looks like it's going to be maybe like a group project or something like that. With the Lovers coming in, I'm also getting the feel that something is going to click. As in, what I'm sensing here is something that's kind of like, let's for example, let's say, for example, I do watercolor, right? I like to paint. And somebody comes up and they're like, hey, actually, I'm thinking about making a children's book. And, I do writing. Do you want to do the art for it? And I go, well, I never really thought to do that. I was kind of on the track of painting and then selling the art as individual pieces, but I never really thought to make art for a book, or let's say for, somebody's like, hey, would you want to work with me to design a tarot deck or something like that? It's almost like a different way to use the skills that you already have. And something about that clicks for you, like, oh yeah, I didn't realize that I could do that with what I have. And I say that because right after it, we have the 7 of Pentacles. The Lovers came out with the 7 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Pentacles is about, do I want to invest in this? Is this something that, because you have to have pentacles in order to invest them, right? The step before this is the 6 of Pentacles. That's the fruits of your labor coming in. Congratulations. Now you have pentacles in your hand. Where do you want to put it? So that's why this is kind of giving me the feeling of, it's something that you already have. It's a skill set that you already have that is going to be put to use, or you're going to be given the opportunity to put it to use in a way that never occurred to you before. This is very interesting. Yeah, whatever it is, let me know in the comments, because I'm curious. I'm always excited about like creative new ventures, like when people decide to start a small business or when they open up a storefront. I'm nosy like that. I want to know what's going on. So yeah, congrats, Aries. Is there anything else? I was gonna say, because like here lately, the Aries readings have been a lot of yelling, and this seemed too smooth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, it's almost like when your problem child is suddenly acting really good. I'm like, what did you do? Okay, so we have the 7 of Cups. That's interesting how this works out, because it's like 3, 3, 7, 7. 7 of Cups is about illusion. There's something that you're not seeing. Father of Swords, Son of Swords. Okay. All right. So nothing bad about you. Once. But it is saying be careful. With all these opportunities coming in, or with the opportunity that's coming in, make sure to use your discernment. Because that's what the Father of Swords is about. Son of Swords looks like it's going to be quick communication. Something suddenly coming in. And it's saying, be careful. Just use your intuition. Use your discernment. Make sure you, cross all the I's and dot all the T's or whatever. Take an ass and kick it names. Something like that. Yeah, just make sure you have your ducks in a row when you decide whether or not you want to participate in this. All right. Moving on to Taurus. Taurus, Father of Pentacles, nice. That's the King of Pentacles, about stability. Eight of Wands, sudden inspiration. Man? Oh, okay. And the Nine of Cups. Okay. All right. Well, this is a pretty short and sweet one too, Taurus. It looks like you're getting something suddenly coming in pretty quickly. And something about the way the Eight of Wands looks is telling me that it's not just one thing. It's like you're getting opportunities in to better your stability. Father of Pentacles being here with the Eight of Wands, with the Nine of Cups, this is telling me that this is going to be something that would be very fulfilling for you. This is going to be something that is maybe even going to be meaningful for you, because I'm hearing a sense of purpose. So keep an eye out and put yourself out there. Make sure to put yourself out there this week for opportunities to come in that would be good for your material stability, as well as your emotional fulfillment. Because something tells me that after the eclipse season, after all this planetary stuff that we've been experiencing, not many of us are willing to tolerate places or things or people that don't fulfill us anymore. You know, something tells me that we're I think we can collectively agree at this point that we all are seeking something a little more now. And another thing that came to mind is the saying, it's one of my favorite sayings actually, that fortune favors the brave. So, I mean, we're not seeing the Hermit here or anything, but you see how lightning is striking the one that is standing, and the rest of the ones are just shadows, but it's struck the one that is standing. Something about that artwork is telling me to remind you guys to put yourself out there. You can't sit on your hands and just kind of like hermit and then expect something to come in. That's not how this works. So this week, it's almost like if you put yourself out there, you can make yourself into, you know, something that sticks out for lightning to come strike. You know, again, one of my favorite sayings, fortune favors the brave, because if you hide, how is Lady Luck to find you? Right? So, yeah, get out there. Strut your stuff. Walk this world with confidence. You are here to strive for excellence. You did not live the life that you have lived to settle for mediocrity. Yeah. Taurus is built for success. Own it. All right. So, looks like good stuff coming in for Aries and Taurus. So far, so good. And now we're going for Gemini. One, two. This one seemed to want to come out. And three. Six of Cups. I feel like Gemini's been getting that a lot lately. Okay, Gemini seems to still be in a little bit of that nostalgia vibe that I was talking about in some of the previous videos. What was this for a while? Wow, okay. I could have caught that, but I didn't. Yeah, the moon. Yeah, definitely nostalgia vibes. Okay, so asking about the Four of Wands, the Five of Pentacles flew across the table. So I'm getting the feeling here, Gemini, that some of you might be looking back to the past and maybe idealizing a lot of it. A lot of you seem to be looking back at the past and kind of maybe doing some editing. I say that because along with the Six of Cups and the Four of Wands came out the Seven of Swords, and the Seven of Swords is about deceit. But the Seven of Swords isn't always about, like, you know, someone being trickstery to you or someone lying to you. Sometimes I interpret the Seven of Wands to be someone lying to themselves. The Fool being here as well. You know what? The feeling that I'm getting here is it's like you're looking back at something from the past and looking at it like it was some beautiful, you know, amazing thing. But it's like with the moon, if you really, really dig deep in there, there's some bad stuff that came with it too. And the focus shouldn't be on, you know, it being such an amazing thing that you miss, or it being such a terrible thing that you never want to go back to. Like, what we get from those experiences, what we should be getting out of those experiences are lessons. So one way to get out of this funk is to ask yourself, what did I learn from that? Okay, it happened. It was good, bad, whatever, neutral. It was an experience. So what did you get from it? Because another thing that is coming to mind right now, what is happening with my hair? Another thing that is coming to mind right now is it's like, along with the idealization of the past, it's almost like you're demonizing yourself. It's almost like you're kind of sitting in that energy of, oh, I lost such an amazing thing. You know, if I was only better somehow, maybe I could have held on to it, kind of energy. But no, that doesn't need to be the focal point of your lens. I know it's easier said than done, but when we shift the focus more towards, okay, how can I become better for it? How can I utilize that experience or what I've learned from it to become a better person, to become a better version of myself? You know, do I need to work on my discernment, you know, or really was I at fault in some way and how that ended up? And using that experience to do better next time. When we change our focal point to self-improvement rather than guilt, shame, regret, that's a far better, more productive way to utilize your brain power. All right. So, Gemini, that's all I got for you for this week. Try not to linger there too long. Whenever you wander around in the energy of the moon, just remember where the light switch is. It's important for us to sit and process things, but it's also important for us to keep in mind not to stay there for too long, because time is precious and life goes on. All right. Next, we've got Cancer. Cancer is also in the Five of Pentacles energy. Why? Well, Five of Pentacles. What else we got here? Five of Cups. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, well, the two that fell to the ground are a lot better. We got the Ace of Cups and the Three of Wands, and that is about opportunities coming in. Ace of Cups is about a new opportunity offering of something close to the heart. Could be a love offer. Could be something that fulfills you emotionally. So anywho, it looks like you are making that transition from regret, the feeling of loss. You know, Five of Cups is about a dry watering hole. It's crying over spilled milk. You know, traditionally the Five of Cups is depicted as a guy that's kind of like standing there crying or sitting there, you know, with his head in his knees and just sobbing over, what, 3 cups that fell over, but there are 2 standing right behind him. That's usually how that card is depicted. And in this deck, I kind of see it as the beating a dead horse card. So it looks like you're stepping out of that energy and looking at the cups that you still have. And that attitude, that switch is exactly what's going to bring you into the Three of Wands, which is where the universe goes, oh, okay, you're back open for business? All right, we'll send you something. Because again, fate, destiny is a thing, but I don't believe in fate and destiny causing things to go one way or the other. Fate and destiny brings us opportunities. It is up to us to rise to meet them. And if we cannot rise to meet them, then we miss those opportunities. But when we open up our energy and we stand more receptive, that is when the universe goes, all right, send in some opportunities. Because I've explained this before, but everything emits a frequency. Everything is made of frequency. And so when you vibrate at the frequency of I am open, I am ready, I accept, that's when those frequencies come in, because frequency attracts frequency. Like attracts like. All right, moving on to Leo. All right, Daughter of Swords, the Chariot, Two of Pentacles. Okay, so it looks like you're coming to a decision point this week, Leo, which good. Based on the last reading that I did for you guys, this is good. Okay. So we got the Two of Pentacles, and that's about making decisions. That's about juggling options. And then we have the Chariot, which is the all right, go time card. And we have the Daughter of Swords, and the Daughter of Swords is about discernment, but also being a little bit tapped into the heart. I say that because her sword energy, it's a little softer. And I think that that's going to be very important in the decision that you're making because, you know, again, the planetary alignments, you know, the current astrology is all about being in your heart. So remember not to leave it behind when you make your choices. We're practicing collectively now to use our discernment, use our mind, our thoughts, our mental energy, our intuition, and our heart in our decision making. All right? That was very short and sweet, but that's all we got. Moving on to, I was going to say, Virgo. The Magician's already here. Mother of Swords, the Star, Ten of Pentacles. Man, this seems to be a week where like a lot of things are moving forward for everybody, huh? Because for Virgos as well, we're seeing your manifestations coming in. I think it's also asking though to make sure as you're, because I don't know what it is, but here lately, I have been very careful about what I say out loud because something in the air feels like it's a very potent time for manifestation. So, yes, your manifestations are coming in with the Mother of Swords and the Star being here, though. Make sure that you are very clear on what you want. Because for whatever reason, I'm also getting just a tinge of be careful what you wish for energy. But if your intentions are clear and you are sure that that is what you want, when the manifestations come in, it's going to feel like the Ten of Pentacles. So yeah, Virgo, just make sure you're very clear on what you want. Not too specific, but specific enough, if you know what I mean. All right. Now let's check up on no. Who's next? Libra. The Emperor. Some of you could be dealing with an Aries, or maybe this is about the structure. Let's see. Seven of Cups in the world. All right, Libra, this got real deep for me. So the Emperor is about structure. It is about law, rules, things like that. The Seven of Cups is about illusion. I was just telling a friend today that, like I explained in my What is Karma and What is Love videos, the reason why I stay away from organized religion is because it takes away critical thinking. I feel like it goes against divine free will. It goes against autonomy. Humans have more free will than they realize. But whether this be in organized religion or workplaces or in close relationships, we need to be very mindful of where we give away our power. Because the reason why systems tend to support these structures that keep us from our autonomy, free will, and critical thinking is because a person that has given up their power is easier to control. A person that doesn't think for themselves is easier to control. Have you ever heard of the Milgram experiment or the Stanford prison experiment? Those were real psychological experiments that showed just how powerful compliance can be. So when we are compliant to something and we are so bought in that we have thrown away critical thinking, we turned off our moral compass, our heart compass. We stopped listening to our intuition. Humans are capable of terrible things. It's the psychology behind the Holocaust. People that are just following orders are willing to do just about anything. And so even more dangerous are the people that bow to no one. Yes? So basically what I'm getting at here is that there is a structure in your life where the power dynamics present are an illusion. That's the feeling that I'm getting here. Because the Emperor is also a dictator. He's not just a leader, he's also a dictator. With the World being here, that's a big card, that's a big energy. That is the endings of cycles and new beginnings. So this doesn't feel like something light. This feels like something that has been long-standing in your life. You see how old this tree is. It feels like something that's been long-standing in your life. It is a structure that exists in your life that you may or may not be starting to see the cracks in. And so what this is asking of you is to reevaluate where you give your power up. Because in the name of compliance, people can do terrible things for the benefit of the type of people that don't want you thinking for yourself. So yeah, Libra, big thing to think about this week. And, as with, leaving a job that you no longer believe in, leaving a company with horrible values, leaving a church, there are going to be losses in connections, friendships, relationships, but really the ability to think for yourself and move through this world knowing that you are free, that the sky is the limit. It's scary because you don't have a shield over you either. You can't just say, I was just following orders. That's the thing about why people give up their power, is because it's easier. Because all fear is based on the unknown, and people don't like knowing stuff. People don't like not knowing stuff. It's scary. It's scary to be in your own power. With power comes responsibility. With power comes accountability. That's why being an entrepreneur is considered a brave thing to do, because instead of being under the umbrella of another bigger, more established company with a solid structure and getting the benefits and getting a set salary, being an entrepreneur means you have none of those protections. Succeed or fail, it's on you. It's on your back. That's why it's so scary. But that also means that the sky is the limit, and all of the work that you put in, all of the rewards go to you. So, yeah, that's why most people choose to be, for lack of better words, sheep. Because they don't believe that they have what it takes to succeed on their own. They would rather cower under the umbrella of someone else. But you weren't put here on this earth to be a puppet. Were you? All right, moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio is doing super well in the last reading for the second half of October. And it looks like they're still doing pretty well. Okay, cool. Father of Wands is still here. For anyone that doesn't know why I'm laughing, seriously, check out the Scorpio video. There's something about tossing salads in the title. Yeah, it looks like Scorpio, harmony's coming in, 10 of Pentacles coming in, Father of Wands, very passionate connection is still there, looks like. So, yeah, I mean, this is just a general check-in. It looks like Scorpio's doing well, so I'm glad you're still at it. Okay, that was really short and sweet, but it looks like Scorpio's doing great. Between the Three of Cups, harmony, the Ten of Pentacles, material abundance, and the Father of Wands, a new boo thing. So, moving on to Sagittarius. Four of Pentacles, holding on to resources, or being closed off. I say that because, yep, we got the Mother of Wands here, and we've got the the Daughter of Cups. So it looks like, Sag, your energy is a little bit closed off this week. But I'm not going to give you crap for it, because something tells me that you're recovering from a lot right now. And I guess what needs to be said, though, because Sag is such a fast-moving, very decisive energy, is that it's okay to hermit when you need to. It's okay to take things slowly and to be with yourself when you need to. You don't always have to be on all the time. You don't have to be go, go, go all the time. It's okay to stop, and it's okay to be in your feelings, and it's okay to take a pause before you make decisions. This week seems to be a resting period for Sag, and I would say that, yeah, I think it's much needed. Anything else for the Sag fam? Mother of Cups. Yeah. Going from the Daughter of Cups to the Mother of Cups. Yeah. I feel like this little reset, this little retreat seems to be much needed. The Daughter of Cups, the Mother of Cups both represent heart energy. And going from the daughter to the mother means that you're going through a period of growth, emotionally speaking. And yeah, take your rest. Take your rest, reflect, do what you got to do. But this period of time is sacred. It's okay to treat it as such. And one thing that I've learned to say when I need to is, yeah, if anybody needs anything, no, you don't. If anybody needs anything from me, no, you don't. Not this week. Yep. It's okay to say that. It's okay to do that. All right? All right. Now, moving on to Capricorn. All right, let's see what's up with the Capricorns. Was that? Yes! Okay, so we're seeing the Fool, leap of faith to a new beginning. The Hierophant is back. Something spiritual. Something tells me that the cards that I need are back. Right there. Judgment. Wow. We got 3 major arcana for this week, Capricorn. Judgment. That's about something coming to a conclusion. But good omens. Good omens for conclusions. And we got the Fool. That's a new leap of faith towards something new, uncharted territories. And then we also have the Hierophant. I feel like this is 3 separate things in your life, you know, like career, love, personal growth kind of thing. Not necessarily in that order. So we have the Fool, new beginnings, leap of faith. We have the Hierophant, and that's about spirituality. There's some sort of mastery that is happening, spiritually speaking. And then we also have the Judgment, which is again about conclusions, but good ones. So yeah, this week looks like a powerful week for Capricorns. Kind of excited to see how this turns out when I do the November readings. All right. Moving on to Aquarius. The star, Aquarius showing up as Aquarius. Oof. I slept wrong, and so my neck and my shoulder is really stiff, and I just got that jolt of like electric pain. All right. Damn it, Aquarius. Seriously. I can't even not yell at you in my general readings. Okay. All right. Give me another one. Give me some reason to be a little softer on the... Okay. All right. So, Aquarius. There seems to be still a lot of inner conflict, a lot of self-doubt. But, okay, so the last video that I did for Aquarius, that was not too long ago. I was yelling at you guys to stop giving your power up to the other people in your life and start making decisions on your own. Because the energy that I'm tapping into is someone that severely lacks that. Like someone that doesn't know how to be alone. Someone that doesn't know how to just sit and think, this is what I want to do. So it looks like the star, there's something that you want. There's something that I heard the word formulate. So it's almost like it's a want or a need that's like formulating in your head right now. It's going through a little bit of a gestation period to solidify, but you're getting a vague idea of, okay, this is what I want for my life. This is where I want to be. Like you're getting goals. The 5 of Wands being here, that's why I started yelling, because there's still a lot of inner conflict with it, which, you know what? Okay, I'll ease up. It's fair. You know, if you're not used to being more proactive in your life, any choice that you make, any decision that you make is going to come with a lot of, I don't know though. And that's the feeling that I'm getting here. The whole like, but I want this, but I don't know, but I want to pursue this, but I don't know, you know, and me being me, I just want to be like, get your head out of your ass, just go do it, you know, but okay, fair. Daughter of Swords, it looks like you're learning to tap into your own discernment. You're learning to tap into your intuition, because the swords are about mental energy. That's thinking, that's communicating, that's also perceiving, you know, evaluating, logic. reason, critical thinking. And so with the Daughter of Swords, I get the feeling here that you are learning to tap into that ability to analyze situations for yourself and determine if that is something that you want to partake in or not. Also, if you guys can't tell, I know I have a sweet face because I'm a Cancer rising, but I have the energy of a silverback gorilla. I have the energy of Hades from Hercules when he like freaks out and his like fire hair just kind of explodes. And then he's like, okay, I'm fine. It's fine. It's all right. That's me, because I am also a Leo Mars and an Aries Venus, and we tend to be a little bit hot-headed. So anyway, apologies. Ace of Pentacles. It looks like you are beginning to take solid action towards your goals. Now, whether this be, changing career paths, getting a different job, pursuing a relationship, buying a house, or moving somewhere, or, whatever it may be, this is something tangible. This is something material. And the Pentacles always gives me a little bit more backbone to the energy because it is a very earthy energy. It is a very practical energy. So combined with the Daughter of Swords, Ace of Pentacles is telling me that you're starting to take steps towards your star. It comes with some inner conflict, sure, but this is an energy that you're growing into. So one thing that I would tell you is when you find yourself getting stuck in your head, because that's another reason why Aquarius tends to be very, what should I do instead of this is what I want to do, is because you guys are very, very thinky. There's a lot of mental energy going on there. You're overthinkers. So you guys are also kind of prone to getting lost in your thoughts. Losing the forest for the trees or whatever, missing the forest for the trees, something like that. But basically, when you find yourself getting stuck in your head, I really recommend breathing exercises. Breathing exercises are a lot more powerful than people give them credit for. I have talked a guy out of crisis using breathing exercises on him. So what you do is you inhale, count to 3, exhale, count to 3, and then do that 3 times. 3, 3. 3 in, 3 out, do that 3 times. And then you go do the thing. Listen, I have moved countries alone in my teenage years. I have started, I don't know how many different jobs at this point. I've had a lot of new beginnings that were scary. And every time I have coped by doing just that. When you're scared, when you start going, oh, I don't know if I can do this, then breathe. Inhale, exhale, turn off the thoughts, go do the thing. Because sometimes underthinking it and then fucking up is better than overthinking it and not doing anything. Right? Figure it out once you get there. That's my tip. All right, moving on to the last sign of the zodiac, Pisces. Chariot. Nope. There we go. Temperance, 9 of Cups, and we've got, 8 of Swords is back from the last Pisces reading. Isn't it kind of funny how the tarot cards do that? How cards return for the same signs so close together, as if it's a continuation of the last story that I read for them. So anyway, we have the Chariot, Temperance, 9 of Cups, 8 of Swords. You know what, though? The 8 of Swords, again, is my growing under pressure card, because there's a cocoon hanging on a sword, hanging over other swords. And, it's kind of a, well, what's going to happen when the butterfly comes out kind of feeling. But then we also have the 9 of Cups, and that's about emotional fulfillment. That's about joy. That's a more peaceful energy. So it's almost like you're trying to balance out the energy of enjoying the now, enjoying your happiness, enjoying your abundance, while also being mindful of what the future holds. That's what this feels like. You know, because it's important to think ahead, but it's also important to enjoy the now. Life is a weird balance like that, right? Because I ponder my mortality daily. You know, after spending a year in my deathbed, and that was only like 3 years ago, yeah, mortality is something that is constantly on my mind, to the point that I'm kind of numb to funerals now. I recently discovered after I attended one recently. But thing about life is that overall it's kind of a balancing act, right? Because we don't know how much time we have, and we don't know when our time here ends. That's the thing about mortality. That's the thing about life, is that it's unpredictable. You know, we don't know when it ends. And that's why I always push and encourage people to, you know, kind of live in that mode of, you know what, fuck it. I'm just, you know, I love someone. I thought that I loved them, like it crossed my mind. So I'm going to tell them I love you, you know, or, oh, I thought about so-and-so. I haven't called them in a minute. I'm going to call them now, you know, not tomorrow, not the next time I think of it, now, because they might die today. I might die today. That's the mode that I tend to exist in, is like, I don't know if I have time for that or not later on, so I'm going to do it now, you know. But at the same time, when you live like that, it's also important to have goals for the future, as if you're going to keep living until you're like, hopefully 90, you know. It's important to strive for those goals, to put in real work towards those goals. Like, I'm going to continue to go to school because I need a degree for what it is that I want to do in my life, you know. But at the same time, I'm not going to get so caught up in that this is what I'm working towards energy. I'm not living in that, you know, I'll be happy when energy. It's okay to be happy now, while also balancing it out with, but I also need to work on these things in case I don't die tomorrow. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here, is it's like a balancing act between enjoying the now and being mindful of the future. That Chariot here is very much that fuck it energy. The, you know, I might die tomorrow, so I'll go do this now kind of thing. And I like to see that, me personally. Maybe this is also a warning to please balance those energies. But either way, it looks like balance between pause and go is going to be a big thing this week for the Pisces collective. All right. So, yeah, that's all I got for all the zodiac signs. If you liked what you saw here today, please feel free to like, share, comment to help me out with the algorithm, subscribe, hit the notification button so that you get notified every time I post a video. And I'll see you in the next one. Maybe the next one's going to be a Nandi Speaks video on what time is. I also want to do one on like fate and destiny. I feel like that's something that people need too. If you have any ideas or like any other topics that you're curious about and you want me to talk about them and explain them in the way that I understand them, let me know, and I'd be happy to oblige. See ya.